basic principles of what you need to know to be able to set up a diet, how to target your macros, set what those numbers need to be for you, how to build a meal plan, and how to get started toward reaching your goal weight and adjust as you go. But one thing that we haven't really talked about is food and recipes and things like that. Obviously, I'm a chef. It's what I do for a living. Typically in the restaurant, we are not doing a whole lot of calorie-conscious, diet-friendly food. But I do think that wave is coming for chefs in this country. I think that's going to be something we have to deal with more and more in the future. So these are a couple things that I play around with at home every once in a while. A couple things that I've come up with just for me, because I don't care how disciplined you are, and I'm usually really good about building a meal plan and sticking to it and sticking to basics like lean meats, lots of fruit and vegetables, fibrous things like potatoes and stuff like that. Every now and again you just want to eat something a little bit different. And obviously I love pizza. Most people do. It's kind of hard to go wrong with pizza. But when you're in a dieting phase and you're really working hard toward getting beach ready and being at that goal weight that you want, ordering pizza is probably not in the playbook for a little while. And you know what? That's okay. It's not a thing that you can't do. It's something we're choosing not to do because this is the goal that we have right now, and so I'm not going to eat that right now. So the challenge really comes to finding things that you can fit into the confines of your calorie allowance and your macros and things like that that are still enjoyable. So I've tried to find a couple of things that work well for me that kind of make me happy and are something that I can look forward to eating. And again, it's something that's just a little bit different. It's different than chicken and vegetables or steak and potatoes like I eat a lot of. I eat that stuff every day. I enjoy it, but sometimes different's just good. So I've got a low calorie pizza that I've made. I'm actually going to make two of them because it's time for my next meal of the day, and I can fit two of these in as a meal, and it actually works out pretty well for me. If I remember right, this is about 290 calories for one of these pizzas. I'm going to total all this up, and I'm going to have the macros and the calories up on the screen at the end of the video. But before we get started, let me just show you what you're going to need. So I use, this is empty, but these are what I use. I have flat out rustic white pizza crusts. These are 130 calories a piece. Then you're going to need some manner of tomato sauce. I bought this one, but generally speaking, you can buy, for the most part, what you want. Just pay attention that, whichever one you buy doesn't have meat or something like that in it. Just as a general rule, most of them that you see, they're going to be about 70 calories per half a cup. We're going to be using a quarter cup of this, okay? So just pay a little bit of attention to that on the label, but otherwise you can buy whatever brand that you usually use. I have some turkey pepperoni. This is Boar's Head. If there's a store brand or another brand available that in your area that you like and you're comfortable with, totally cool. Use what you have. But I'm going to use a half a serving on one of these, and that's going to be 35 calories. Okay, just so you know. And then I have some fat-free mozzarella. Okay, so that's really all you need. So I'm going to use a half a cup of this, 8 pieces of the turkey pepperoni, and I'm going to use a quarter cup of sauce, and that's per flatbread. Okay, so per the directions on here, it's going to tell you on the back to pre-bake it before you build your pizza. It says 2 minutes at 375. I usually go just a little bit longer than that. But you can kind of play that by ear. The time may vary a little bit just kind of based on your oven. But as you can see, like this still has some wiggle to it a little bit. It's not firmed up completely, crispy like a cracker, but it's not kind of soft dough right out of the package either. So bake it however much you need to get to that. And obviously, if you like really crispy crust pizza, you know, you can bake it a little bit longer. At the end of the day, it's still America. Do it how you want to do it. Whatever works for you. So I'm going to build these real quick and get these in the oven. So again, 1/4 cup of sauce. And then one of my crusts here is cracked. Came out of the package that way, but that's not the end of the world. I'm just going to spread this sauce around a little bit. I don't know if you guys can see or not. I got two very curious dachshunds at my feet down here, wanting to know what's going on. Anytime they see food, they get curious, but they're not getting any of this. So I got 1/2 cup of cheese, fat-free mozzarella, you know, and if you want to be more accurate for the serving size on the cheese, of course you can weigh it. Usually with proteins and things like that, that's usually your best idea. I'm not really that concerned about it with this. But of course that is an option. Last thing is the pepperoni. This looks like this might at least come close to knocking out the last of the pepperoni that I have. So 8 slices per is what I do, and obviously you can adjust this a little bit depending on your calorie needs, allowance, ultimately what you want. You know, maybe you're doing an actual cheat meal, but you don't want to go crazy. And maybe you use the idea for the fat-free cheese and the, you know, turkey pepperoni, and you know, maybe you use a different crust because you want to give yourself a little bit more. You can do that. So use this however you can. So I'm gonna pop these in the oven, and they usually take, you know, 6 or 8 minutes to be able to cook. We'll just come back once the cheese is nice and melted, and then we'll be ready to eat. All right, so it's been 6 or 8 minutes. Pizza's ready, and you know, to be clear, you know, this isn't quite like going to Domino's or, you know, wherever your favorite pizza place is. You know, this is diet friendly. It's still pretty good for what it is, and you don't have to feel bad about eating it. It's got a pretty good amount of protein, so you can make a meal out of this. Or if you just have one, it can be a nice little snack. You can make a meal out of it by eating 2, or if you just eat the one and, you know, have it with a nice filling salad or something like that. Plenty of vegetables or what have you. But here's what it looks like when it comes out. You know, again, it's diet friendly pizza. I have the macros up on the screen here in just a second. Hope you enjoy. And if there's any other, you know, potential, you know, recipes, items, things you'd like to see me try to make diet friendly, take some calories out, but keep it flavorful and enjoyable and friendly for you while you're, you know, trying to diet and get to that healthy weight you're looking for, feel free to comment. I always like a challenge. Let me know what you'd like to see, and I'll see what I can come up with.